This is one of the most dangerous experiments in recorded history. December 1963, San Diego, California. A 17-year-old boy decides to break a world record. Not for speed, not for strength, for staying awake. No drugs, no stimulants, just willpower against biology. By day 4, his brain started turning against him. But here's what's strange. He survived 11 days, almost 2 weeks without sleep. Doctors expected a breakdown, maybe worse. Instead, he played pinball, he gave press interviews, he seemed fine. So what actually happens inside a brain denied rest for that long? And is there a hard limit? A point where sleep loss simply kills you? The answer is stranger than anyone expected. So stay till the end. Because somewhere between day 3 and day 20, something breaks. And scientists still aren't certain exactly what. Here's the impossible part. Rats deprived of sleep die in about 2 weeks. Every time, no exceptions. Humans have gone almost 3 weeks and walked away. That's not a small difference. That's a contradiction science still hasn't fully solved. So what is sleep really? And why does losing it feel like losing your mind? Sleep looks like nothing, a body lying still, but underneath, it's chaos. Your brain doesn't shut off at night. It shifts gears entirely. Toxic proteins get flushed out, memories get filed away, neurons that fired all day finally get to repair themselves. Take that away, and the wreckage starts almost immediately. After just one night without sleep, reaction time collapses. It becomes comparable to driving drunk. 24 hours of sleep loss can impair you the way alcohol does past the legal driving limit. You don't feel drunk, but your brain is operating like it. After 36 hours, something stranger begins, microsleeps. Your eyes stay open. Your brain checks out for seconds at a time. You won't even notice it happening. This is where the first theories about sleep's purpose start to crack. Scientists once believed sleep was simple, just rest for the body. But the brain doesn't agree, because the real damage isn't physical exhaustion. It's something happening deep inside the mind. By 1965, researchers had their case study. Randy Gardner, a high school science project that became a landmark experiment. Day 1, normal, a little tired. Day 2, his eyes stopped focusing properly. He struggled with simple tongue twisters. His coordination slipped. Day 4, things got darker. He became paranoid. He misidentified objects by touch. His personality seemed to shift entirely. By day 9, doctors documented something alarming: difficulty with basic arithmetic, confusion, hallucinations creeping in. This is the moment every sleep scientist points to. The moment exhaustion stops being physical and becomes something closer to a psychiatric break. What do you think is actually happening in a brain that far gone? Comment below. Because here's the unsettling part. Gardner's brain never fully shut down. Instead, it began entering microsleep states constantly. Pieces of his brain were dreaming, while the rest of him was still technically awake. Imagine being conscious and unconscious at the same time. That's not rest, that's fragmentation. And it gets worse the longer it continues. Theories tried to explain this for decades. The simplest one: sleep is just energy conservation. Your body powers down to save resources. But that theory falls apart fast, because energy conservation doesn't explain hallucinations. It doesn't explain paranoia or memory collapse. If sleep was only about energy, lying still awake should work just as well. It doesn't. So researchers turned to a newer theory: sleep as brain maintenance. During deep sleep, your brain activates something like a cleaning cycle. It's called the glymphatic system. Cerebrospinal fluid washes through brain tissue, clearing out metabolic waste built up during the day, including a protein called beta amyloid, the same protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Recent brain imaging studies confirm it directly. Just one night of sleep deprivation measurably increases amyloid buildup in human brains. Skip sleep long enough, and that waste doesn't get cleared. It accumulates, quietly, dangerously. This single discovery changed how scientists viewed sleep forever. It wasn't downtime, it was damage control. And without it, the brain starts poisoning itself from the inside. But waste removal isn't the only thing happening at night. There's a second mystery hiding inside sleep itself: dreaming. For decades, Scientists tried to deprive people of dreams specifically, not total sleep loss, just the dreaming stage. Every time a subject's brain entered REM, researchers woke them up, night after night, and something strange happened. The drive to dream got stronger, not weaker. Subjects needed to be woken more and more often. Their bodies were fighting to dream, even as researchers blocked it. When finally left alone to sleep undisturbed, something snapped back. Their brains poured into REM sleep far beyond normal levels. Scientists named this phenomenon REM rebound. It proves something unsettling. Dreaming isn't optional. It isn't decoration. The brain treats it like a debt that must be repaid. So why does the brain fight so hard to dream? One leading theory points to emotional survival. Researchers studying mood found that REM sleep appears to soften negative emotion overnight. Subjects with anxious or distressing thoughts before bed often showed calmer, more positive emotional tone in dreams by morning, as if the sleeping brain was quietly diffusing the day's stress. Block REM sleep entirely, and that diffusing process never happens. Emotions stay raw, unprocessed, loaded. This may explain part of what happened to Gardner. By day 4, paranoia. By day 9, hallucinations. A brain that hasn't dreamed in days may be a brain that can't regulate itself anymore. Not because it's simply tired, but because the nightly emotional reset switch never got pressed. Back to the real question. How long can a human actually survive? Gardner's 11 days became legend, but others pushed further. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, the record kept climbing. A radio DJ named Peter Tripp stayed awake past 200 hours. Afterward, he suffered hallucinations for days. Then in 1986, a man named Robert McDonald reportedly went even further. Over 18 days, 453 hours, he described memory loss, weight loss, hallucinations, and paranoia. Yet, he survived. In 1997, record keepers stopped tracking sleep deprivation attempts entirely. Not because no one wanted to try, because the health risks had become too extreme to encourage. This is where the story should end, a human limit somewhere past 2.5 weeks. But then comes the part that breaks the pattern completely. Remember those rats, 2 weeks without sleep, and they die, every single time. Not from exhaustion, from something else entirely. Their bodies lose the ability to regulate temperature, their immune systems collapse, bacteria that should stay contained spread through their organs. Sleep deprivation doesn't just exhaust an animal, it seems to dismantle the systems keeping it alive. So why didn't that happen to McDonald? Or to Gardner? Why can humans seemingly survive past the point where lab animals die? Nobody has a confirmed answer. Some researchers suspect human sleep deprivation experiments involve brief, undetected microsleeps that animals in lab conditions can't get. Stolen seconds of rest the conscious mind doesn't register. If true, no human has ever actually gone fully without sleep at all, which means the real record may not exist yet, because biologically, total sleep deprivation might be unsurvivable. We may have just never truly achieved it. Now zoom out, because this isn't only a question about endurance records, it's a question about everyday catastrophe. In 1979, the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant suffered a partial meltdown. Investigators later pointed to operator fatigue as a contributing factor. 7 years later, Chernobyl exploded at 1:23 in the morning. Workers had been on extended shifts. Some researchers argue fatigue played a role that night. Others dispute how strong the evidence really is, but one disaster has far less ambiguity. In 1989, the Exxon Valdez ran aground off the coast of Alaska. 11 million gallons of crude oil spilled into the ocean. The officer steering the ship had slept only a few hours over the previous 2 days. Investigators concluded fatigue was a central factor in the crash. This is the hidden danger of sleep loss. It doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it just looks like one tired decision at exactly the wrong moment. And the unsettling truth is, this kind of fatigue is invisible from the outside. A tired brain doesn't announce itself. It just quietly stops working the way it should. There's one more piece of evidence, and it's the most disturbing. A genetic disease called Fatal Familial Insomnia. Extraordinarily rare, inherited, always fatal. It begins quietly, trouble falling asleep, strange vivid dreams, then it accelerates. Within months, sufferers lose the ability to sleep at all, not difficulty sleeping. Stage 1 brings panic attacks and unsettling dreams. Stage 2 brings a racing heart, rising blood pressure, and constant sweating. The nervous system starts running without a break. Stage 3 brings near total insomnia and visible physical decline. Stage 4 brings dementia, then a final, irreversible coma. Death typically follows within about a year and a half of the first symptoms. This disease proves something chilling. Total, permanent sleep loss is not survivable. Not for weeks, not for months. The body simply cannot sustain consciousness forever. Which brings us back to Gardner, to MacDonald, to every recorded record. None of them may have experienced true zero sleep. Their brains likely protected them, in tiny invisible doses. The real boundary between human endurance and human survival may be even thinner than anyone has measured. So where does that leave the modern world? Most people will never attempt an endurance record. But many live in a state of chronic partial sleep loss without realizing it. 5 hours a night, 6 hours a night, stacked across years. Researchers describe this as accumulating a sleep debt. Unlike a single all-nighter, this kind of deprivation is quiet. There's no hallucination, no dramatic ninth-day collapse, just a slow erosion. Memory consolidation weakens, immune defenses soften, the glymphatic cleanup cycle runs incomplete night after night, and REM rebound never gets the chance to fully repay its debt either. Emotional regulation slips, quietly year after year. It's the same biological mechanism behind Gardner's collapse, just stretched out, diluted, disguised as ordinary tiredness, which raises an uncomfortable thought. Maybe the real danger isn't the dramatic 11-day experiment. Maybe it's the quiet, decades-long version everyone is already running. There's a strange irony hiding in all of this. The most extreme experiments, the endurance records, they were never really about proving sleep was optional. They were accidental proof of the opposite. Every collapse, every hallucination, every quiet workplace catastrophe was the body screaming the same message in different volumes. Rest is not a luxury layered on top of survival. It is survival, just running on a delay. Gardner's 11 days didn't prove humans can skip sleep. They proved how far a brain will bend itself, borrowing fragments of rest in secret, just to avoid breaking completely. History tells us willpower can push the body further than expected. 11 days, 18 days, records that sound impossible, but Fatal Familial Insomnia tells a different story, not one of endurance, one of inevitable collapse. Maybe the lesson isn't how long we can resist sleep. Maybe it's how quietly our brains fight to protect us, stealing rest in fragments, even when we refuse to give it consciously. We don't conquer sleep, we just borrow time from it. And eventually, the debt comes due. If you enjoy documentaries like this, subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden science behind everyday human limits. And if this changed how you think about something as simple as sleep, leave a like and let me know your thoughts below.